5.NF.1 learning target. I can add fractions and mixed numbers with unlike denominators. Your vocabulary word today is improper fraction. A fraction that's more than a whole. You can tell when the numerator is larger than the denominator. So 5/3 is an improper fraction. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. This is more than one whole, because this would actually equal 3/3 plus 2/3, and 3/3 is one whole. So this actually equals 1 and 2/3. I'm saying actually too much. But anyway, that's an improper fraction. Your notes. To add fractions and mixed numbers, follow these steps. First, you can add the whole numbers. Okay, so that's easy enough. You just add, if you have two mixed numbers, you just add up the whole numbers. If you don't have more than one whole number, then don't. But if there's whole numbers there, add them up. Secondly, find the common denominator for the fractions. Thirdly, write equivalent fractions with the common denominator. Fourthly, add the numerators and write the sum over the common denominator. Fifthly, make sure your answer is either a mixed number or an improper fraction, but not both. This is not acceptable. That's a mixed number. Remember, a mixed number is one that has a whole number and a fraction, but this also has an improper fraction. So it's a mixed number with an improper fraction. That is no good. So you're going to have to turn that improper fraction into a mixed number. So 4/3 is equal to 3/3 plus another third, which equals 1 and 1/3. And when you add on the other 3, the whole number 3 plus 1 and 1/3, you add up the whole numbers and you get 4 and 1/3. So 4 and 1/3 is an appropriate way to write this. You can't leave it the way it was. Okay, so your example. Here we go. Two examples. Put these both in your notes. We're going to add 2.5 plus 3 and 1/5. I like to add them up vertically. So line them up one over the other. Fractions lined up, whole numbers lined up. So we're going to add. I'm adding the whole numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5. My next step is to find the common denominator. I'm going to do that out to the side. 2 and 5 both go into 10. 10's the common denominator. I'm going to convert these to equivalent fractions. The 1/2 I'm going to multiply by 5 and 5. Let me write that more neatly. Sorry, I can do better. Okay. So I'm going times 5 to get 10, and times 5 to get 5. So 1/2 is equal to 5/10. 1/5 I need to multiply by 2 over 2. And that's 2/10. And that adds up to 7/10. So I've got 5 and 7/10. I don't know what's going on with my writing today, but I'll get it right. 5 and 7/10. Okay, easy enough. Another example, 1 and 3/4 plus 2 and 2/3. 1 3/4, 2 2/3. Adding them up, the whole numbers add up to 3. 3/4 plus 2/3, I need a common denominator. 3 and 4 both go into 12, so I'm going to use 12. 4 times 3 makes 12, so 3 times 3 makes 9. 3 times 4 makes 12, so 2 times 4 makes 8. I can add up the numerators now. 9 plus 8 is 17, but look, I've got an improper fraction in my mixed number, so I need to convert this. It's going to be 3 whole, and 17/12 is 12/12 plus 5/12. So that's these two together make 4. So it's 4 and 5/12. There we go. Alright, so here's some other examples which you do not need to put in your notes, just pay attention. Okay, so which options are equivalent to the given expression? The given expression is 1 1/7 plus 3 2/5. Well, let's take a look. It looks like we have 3 different options we need to check. So, I think I'm going to start by just adding 1 1/7 plus 3 2/5. 1 1/7, 3 2/5. Whole numbers add up to 4. The common denominator would be 35. So to get the common denominator of 35ths, I'm going to multiply 1/7 by 5 and 5 to get 5 35ths. I'm going to multiply 2/5 times 7 and times 7 to get 14 35ths. And the fractions add up to 19 35ths. So, winner, winner, chicken dinner, we've got one here. But there could be more than one. So it looks like I need to check and see, is 159 35ths the improper fraction for 4 and 19 35ths? Okay, so let's add it up. Let's convert it. 4 and 19 35ths. I know how to change mixed numbers into improper fractions, and I'm going to do it right here. Okay, so 4 and 19 35ths. I'm going to multiply 4 times 35. That'll tell me what the whole number would be as a fraction. So 4 times 35. And then I'm going to add the 19, and that's going to be all over 35. So 4 times 35 is 120 plus 20 more, so that's 140 plus the 19. 140 plus 19 is 159 over 35. That's another winner. So there's 2 answers here. This last one is not an answer. Notice that my answer is more than 4. And these 2 added together, those are both less than 1. In fact, they're both less than a half. And so there's no way they're going to add up to 4 and 19 35ths, which is what this number over here is supposed to be, but my handwriting is so bad it's kind of hard to tell. 19 35ths. Okay, so it's just the 2 answers. Next problem. Which of these has a sum of 2 3/4? Okay, well, let's use some common sense here first. I'm just looking at the whole numbers and seeing what's left. So I'm going to add up the whole numbers first. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then I have to add 1/2 plus 1/4. Could be. When I look at the second one, 1 plus 1 is 2. Half plus a half is another whole. So this ends up being 2 plus 1 whole. That's 3. So that's not 2 3/4. So that can't be the answer. Well, look at this. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 3/4 is already 2 3/4, which is what we're supposed to be equaling all together. And then we have to still add on another half, so no, it's not that one. That's too big. 1 and, let's look at this last one. 1 and 3/2. Well, 3/2 by itself is 2/2 plus 1/2. That's 1 1/2. So that's 1 plus 1 1/2 plus 1 plus 1 1/2. That's way too big. Okay, 1, 2, 3/2 is each worth 1 1/2. That's way too much. That's more than 2 3/4. It's not that. So it's going to be this first one. We can double check and make sure. The common denominator would be 4. So I multiply the 2 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Then 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4, with the whole number. It's 2 3/4. That's it. Got it. Last one. We already did one like this. Let's see. I'm going to try to use some common sense here first. So I'm going to add up the 5 and the 2. That makes 7. And then I have to add up 1/6 and 1/4. And I can see why they were trying to trick me. This one here, it looks like they found the common denominator of 10, but 10 can't be the common denominator. 4 and 6 don't, either one of them don't go into 10. So that's if you're going to goof up and just add the denominators, which you never do. You never add the denominators. So this is not an answer. Could be 7 5/12. Let's check. See what happens when we make 12ths. So 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. Those add up to 5/12. 7 5/12 is an answer. So that's one for sure. Whew. 62/12. I'm wondering if this one's an answer. I'm still on the fence about that one. Let's find out. Let's do this. Looks like they turned both fractions, both mixed numbers, into improper fractions. So I'm going to get rid of my work there. And I'm going to start by changing these to improper fractions. 5 and 1/6. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 1 is 31. So I have 31/6. Plus 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so that's 9/4. Now if I turn these into 12ths, 31/6, I'm going to write them vertically. 31/6, I'm going to change it into 12ths. I would go times 2, and 31 times 2 is 62. Oh, it's looking like it. Look at that. So 1/4, or 9/4. If I turn 9/4 into 12ths, multiply by 3 and 3, that's 27/12. That's it. That's another one. Okay, so there's two answers to this one also. So make sure we mark them both right there. Okay, I talked too long. We're almost 13 minutes in already. So do the quick check. 3 2/5 plus 1 3/4. See you soon.